Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Max Warframe. So the Silver Grove has released. We've got a couple of new weapons to take a look at, as well as the new frame Titania. Got a load of testing to do with Titania, so let's take a look at the brand new Gunblade, the Sarpa. Now the Gunblade is a class of melee that honestly it badly needed adding to. With only the Redeemer in that class, people have been crying out for a new one for ages. So how does the Sarpa stack up? Well, the construction costs, they're not that bad really. The most expensive thing in there is the Axe Stiletto secondaries, so make sure you're going to build yourself a new set if you formed your original pair. 3,300 cryotic, 1,000 plastids, 2 control modules, 20,000 credits. That rounds off those construction costs, means it's not a particularly expensive weapon at all. But how are the stats of the weapon? Well, with a base damage of 70, the majority of that comes in the form of slash with 49, 14 is puncture, a little bit of impact is just 7. It does actually have 10 more base damage than the Redeemer. The supplemental stats, they're literally exactly the same. 5% critical chance, 150% critical damage multiplier, even the status chance of 10%, they're all exactly the same. And this makes it pretty unreliable for a status build, completely incapable of taking advantage of the ridiculous Blood Rush body count combo. So going full elemental is going to be it's the way forward for the Sarpa. The differences come with the difference between the charged shots. The Sarpa has a pellet burst when it fires. It's a 5 pellet burst compared to the Redeemer's 10. But to make up for that drop in pellets per shot fired, it comes with a faster attack speed of 1 attack per second compared to the Redeemer's 0.83, which can be really felt when you combine it with that Prime Fury. But with this new Gunblade, that also comes with a new stance, which is Bullet Dance. And well, the plan was to show you each of the combos working. But right now, to be honest, the stance I don't think is working properly. It seems to get stuck in the basic Samba slash combo almost all of the time. Sort of, if you pull off a combo, it'll go into the Samba slash and get stuck there. Even if you do hold, for example, the right mouse button, or if you try and do the pause combo, it is possible to pull them off, but it just seems so hit and miss and buggy. It's not really realistic to be trying to pull those off right now. Half the time you do them by accident because you don't know whether it's just going to get stuck in this combo or not. It is entirely possible that I'm just bad at pulling some of these combos off, but I don't seem to be the only one that's having these issues right now. So it does seem like there's probably a problem with the stance at the moment. It's a shame because it's a badass stance. And when it cooperates and allows you to get those combos off, they are amazing looking, despite shaking the camera out an insane amount. It does make aiming pretty difficult, which is that's a bit of a downside when you're shooting at things. It is hard to really judge this stance yet in its current state. However, if I'm missing something, let me know in the comments and I will go back and look at it again. Now in terms of the build, it's a pretty standard elemental build. I've added 2 V polarities to the weapon, means that the D polarity we have on there as standard, it's going to be a max life strike. That's pretty much normal for me. 1 swing with a max life strike means max health pretty much, prime pressure point, prime fury for attack speed, body count to keep the combat multiplier up. We've got maiming strike on there, which it seems like an odd one, I know, but since this does actually have a very good slide attack damage, having that good slide attack damage have a 95% chance of critting, seems like a pretty decent boost in damage. And then we've got the 3 elemental mods. Radiation Toxin for Grineer, Corpus and Void. Corrosive and Heat for the Infested. If you're running 4 corrosive projections against the Grineer or Void enemies. Viral and Heat against those. If you want an explanation as to why I run those elemental combos, check out the video in the description below as to why I use those. So do I like the Sarpa? The answer to that is absolutely yes, I do. And it must have done something. I've chosen this instead of anything else that came out, Despite the difficulties with the stance, it's a great weapon and it's a breath of fresh air. I never really used the Redeemer, to be honest, mostly because I wasn't a big fan of the stance. For a Gunblade, I don't think that the stance for me was actually shooty enough. Once Bullet Dance has had another look over, and it seems to be what I've wanted in a Gunblade. A stance that properly combines the shooting element with the slashing element, and it seems to be a fantastic complement to my gunslinger Mesa. Now, I've always been vocal about the need for mechanically different melee weapons. The Gunblades have always felt different due to that combination of shooting and slashing at the same time. even if I didn't particularly like the Redeemer. So having another very strong addition to that category has made me extremely happy, and I will be using that as my go-to melee for pretty much anything now, I think. Especially since some of the combos like the Magnum Mambo, they are insanely cool. It's not really that difficult to pull them off with the correct timing, well, if the stance decides to let you, I guess. But to be honest, it's a fantastic looking weapon. It's a great addition to any Tenno arsenal, and one that I think that is worth the investment of the former, and the grind of the Void Sabotage to get the new stance. So remember to grab those catches, guys. As always, any questions or comments in the comments below. I'll respond to as many as I can like I normally do, and I shall see you in the next video.